Hello everyone, welcome back to YK Reviews, welcome back to another weekly entertainment news video as we're talking about some updates when it comes to Spider-Man 4. We got some horror news with Chucky and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, some updates when it comes to the Batman 2 filming, that plus so much more, so let's get into it here. So before we get started, if you are new to the channel, you do like these types of videos, we do this every single week talking about movie news, TV news, sometimes Lego news, video game news, all sorts of stuff. So if you like that type of stuff, you want to keep up to date, do consider hitting that subscribe button. Couple of shameless plugs. I've also done retrospective reviews for all the Ghostbusters movies along with the Monsterverse movies. So you can go check those out on the channel. Keep an eye out because we're going to be doing a tier ranking video for all the Monsterverse movies, including Godzilla x Kong plus a Monarch show. So that's coming out over the weekend, so definitely subscribe so you're not missing out on that. But when it comes to these types of videos, timestamps will be in the description down below, so anything you're more interested in, anything you want to skip around to, timestamps will be in the description down below for that. But let's just get straight started with a trailer that came out this week. This is for Bad Boys 4, which should honestly have been called Bad Boys 4 Life, even though that one is now the Bad Boys 3rd movie. But nonetheless, this is called Bad Boys Ride or Die. And I gotta be honest, this movie slaps. I know, I'm sorry, I had to throw in a joke in there. But in all seriousness, this trailer does look really entertaining. It's not Oscar worthy or anything like that, but the movie looks like a lot of fun. I really had a good time with the Bad Boys 3 movie. So far, the Bad Boys movies are just some fun popcorn flick type of movies. And this one, the chemistry with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, some great elements in there. You can kind of sense of what the plot is going to be. And you can see that they've really upped the scale when it comes to the action sequences. So yeah, the trailer itself honestly looks like a good time. I really am excited to be checking this one out, with it being released in June of this year. So you've seen the trailer, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section below. Will you be checking it out? Does this trailer appeal to you? Are you going to give it a miss? Let me know down in the comment section below. But for the first movie news we're going to be talking about here is some casting updates, or more casting updates when it comes to the Among Us movie. I spoke about this last week. They announced a couple of casting news when it comes to these certain characters, but we got some more casting updates here. So we've got Liv Hewson. She's been cast as the Black Among Us guy in the Among Us animated series. Now, just quick full disclosure, I said there was an animated movie last week when it's actually an animated series, so that's my bad. But we've got Liv Hewson, who's been cast as the Black Among Us. We've got Dan Stevens, he's been cast as the Blue in the Among Us animated series. And then we've got Kimiko Glenn, who has been cast as Cyan as the Among Us guy in the Among Us animated series. So you get the first look at Blue, Cyan and Black in the series, and we actually got a full synopsis of the series here. So it says here, members of your crew have been replaced by an alien shapeshifter intent on causing confusion, sabotage the ship and killing everyone. Root the imposter or fall victim to its murderous design. So pretty much the synopsis of the game, I believe. Again, I've not played the game. I've seen clips here and there. I've seen other people play it, but I'm not too familiar when it comes to the actual game itself. But it does sound similar to how it is in the game. I'm actually very curious to see how it's going to be played out when it comes to this animated series, especially with some of the cast. I'll be honest, Dan Stevens and Liv Hewson, not too familiar with the two of them. However, I am aware of Kimiko Glenn. She was in the Orange is the New Black, a really fantastic performance from her. So I am actually curious about this. So for those of you that are fans of the Among Us game, what are your thoughts about the casting? What are your thoughts about the synopsis? Being an animated series, will you be checking it out? Let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, now for the next news story, it's a movie that actually caught my eye and one I actually want to bring some attention to. So coming from the Hollywood Reporter, this is confirming here that Austin Butler is to star in Darren Aronofsky, apologies if I butchered the name. It's called Caught Stealing for Sony. So in the article it's saying here, Butler will star in the crime thriller Caught Stealing, which hails from filmmaker Darren. Sony has acquired the package, which is based on the book by Charlie Huston, and per the logline, it follows Hank Thompson, a burnt-out former baseball player, as he is unwittingly plunged into a world fight for survival in the downtown criminal underworld of 90s New York City. Now, just having it alone being based in 90s New York, that has for me caught my attention, with it being Austin Butler, who's coming off of Dune, a fantastic performance. I made a review of that movie. Basically, I confirmed that Austin Butler was the standout cast when it comes to the villain side of things. Hey, fantastic in the role of Elvis, fantastic in the role of Dune. So I'm really curious to see what kind of direction and what kind of performance he puts with this movie. But when it comes to crime fighting, when it comes to being in New York, I'm all for it. This has just caught my eye. So you hear this and you see this, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is one you'll be checking out? Do you think you'll give it a miss? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now for the next news story we've got here is an update when it comes to Mission Impossible 8. It's currently filming right now and we have got some casting updates here. So coming from the deadline, confirming here that Love Lies Bleeding breakout Katie O'Brien joins the 8th Mission Impossible movie. Now I've not checked out Love Lies Bleeding, but I've heard so much great things about the movie. One I've definitely got on my radar, and the praise that Katie O'Brien has been getting really makes me happy that she's being cast in this movie. I am familiar with her work. She was in The Mandalorian. She was also part of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania as well, so familiar with her work, but she's been more of like side characters in those projects rather than like the sole focus. But it's great to see that she's going to be part of Mission Impossible 8. We know that it's like a part 2, so it's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2. I don't know if they're going to call it Part 2, if they're going to rename it, but filming is going on right now. I definitely feel like Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 went under the radar with the release date with every other movie that was coming out around that time. But details of what she's going to be doing or who she's going to be playing is obviously being kept under wraps. But honestly, I've been seeing nothing but praise for her being part of this franchise, especially after her performance for Love Lies Bleeding. So you see this and you hear this, what are your thoughts? Are you happy about the casting choice? Who do you think she'll be playing? Let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, now for the next news story, we've got another update when it comes to the Jurassic World, Jurassic Park movies.
Another one.
So we reported that Scarlett Johansson was rumored to be involved in the movie as part of the next Jurassic World or Jurassic Park movie. This is coming from the Hollywood Reporter saying Scarlett Johansson in talks to lead the new Jurassic World movie. The feature is on the fast track as it heads up to July 2nd of 2025. Again, I'm rushing the movie. So this one is going to be directed by Gareth Edwards. So it's definitely a casting choice I didn't think would go hand in hand when it comes to the Jurassic World movie and this one. It definitely seems like they are going for like a more action-based type of movie, because I believe the title or the rumored title is going to be Jurassic World Sin City. So it definitely feels like they're going for like a more action-based. That's the reason why they hired David Leitch to be directing, but then obviously he fell out of the project. Most likely Scarlett Johansson is going to be leading the team of like CIAs or spies or whoever it is, because the rumor plot is that it's going to be an island where the dinosaurs have taken over. They've got these humans, hostages, I believe it was, and then you've got people coming in to rescue them, which is going to most likely be led by Scarlett Johansson. Again, this is all just rumors and speculation, not 100% concrete. Because of her being known of playing Black Widow, that's most likely why she's going to go for this type of role. So that could be a possibility, or it could just be completely different. Honestly, who knows? But I've been saying it since they've been talking about the Jurassic World movie, the next one. Because of the movie being set to release next year in July of 2025, the way they're rushing everything, I just don't have any hopes with this. It's because the movie's going to be coming out in just over a year and they're doing casting, they're getting everything in set and ready to film. So I'm genuinely just worried about this movie in itself. But you see this casting choice, what are your thoughts? Does this make you more excited? Does this make you more worried about the movie? Let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, now for the next news story is one I was not expecting, but the Pooh universe is alive and in full effect, because we're getting here confirming from the Variety that Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3 has been confirmed. According to the producers, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3 will have a bigger budget than the previous films and will introduce new characters from the original Winnie the Pooh stories, including Rabbit, the Heffalumps and the Woozles. Now, I'll be honest, I've seen Winnie the Pooh here and there growing up, like not an advert, an every single episode type of person. So I'm honestly not too familiar with the Heffalumps or the Woozles, but I can definitely see them being some horror type of characters here. It definitely just looks like this is making a comeback. I've been seeing nothing but praise when it comes to Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, a huge improvement to the very first movie, which I'm honestly so happy to hear that. I'll be honest, I've not been a fan of the first one. I've yet to check out the second one, but it's actually got me more curious, and I said it in last week's episode. I'm kind of invested in this Pooh universe, the Pooh-niverse that they're building here with this Avengers style type of movie. So the fact that they're going for like a bigger budget with a third movie, introducing characters like deep lore characters that you'll have to be really familiar with, like Winnie the Pooh, seeing every single episode, seeing the backstory and all that kind of stuff to be familiar with that. But they can just take this and just run with it completely. Just so happy that it's working on fixing the things that a lot of people didn't like in the first movie. So yeah, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3 has been announced. What are your thoughts about it? Are you excited for it? Will you be checking it out? Are you going to be there day one for the Poohniverse movie? Let me know down in the comment section below. So for the next news story, we've got a really interesting update when it comes to the Chucky franchise. So Don Mancini did an interview, and credit to DJ Sus1, who actually did the interview here with Don Mancini. So he asked him about season 4 when Don Mancini actually replied with this.
We haven't been renewed yet, but fingers crossed. My hope is to continue, and I have a season 4 idea, and I pitched it to the network.
Along with asking him about the movie as well, like what's the update when it comes to having a Chucky movie once again going on the big screen, and he also replied with this.
Do you think you would ever bring Chucky back to the big screen and reboot it with a brand new Andy, a brand new, type situation?
No, I don't think so. No, I think I want to keep doing new movies, and in fact, I'm starting to, in the early stages of starting to develop one now.
So in terms of like season 4, honestly, I'm having such a fun time with the Chucky series, and I'm really glad that they are going to be continuing it. I'm curious to see where they're going to go, especially with what's going to happen with part 2 of season 3, the one that's going to come out in April, and how that's going to go into season 4. But on the movie side of things here, this makes me so happy that a potential Chucky movie is going to be coming out, because while I am enjoying the series and while I'm enjoying what they're doing with the show, I do want to see Chucky on the big screen. Like, you think of all these horror icons and that kind of stuff. I feel like Chucky does deserve to be shown on the big screen as a movie, because if you really think about it, the last time that this Chucky, not the reboot one from 2019, but the last time we had a movie of Chucky on the big screen was from like the Seed of Chucky, and I mean, you've got that one particular scene that nobody can ever erase from their mind when it comes to like Seed of Chucky, but this one definitely has got me really hyped and really intrigued. So hopefully we do get the movie, and it's not going to take too long for this movie to come out. But if it is happening, hopefully it's not going to be going straight to streaming, that it is going to be out on the big screen. But you see this, what are your thoughts about this? Are you happy that they're going to be making a movie? What are your thoughts about season 4 and how that's going to go? Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. Okay, so let's move on to some comic book news here. So in terms of DC side of things, so last week I believe it was, or the week before, we spoke about Batman 2, Matt Reeves' Batman has been delayed due to like the whole writer's strike and everything like that. So coming from Jeff Snyder, confirming here that Batman 2 begins filming in April of next year. The casting news is expected to happen this fall. So basically confirming here, they're still working on the script right now, so filming hasn't even begun yet. Hopefully with them filming it next year in April, so literally in 12 months time, we'll be getting some set photos, more updates here, but we know that there's going to be some more casting news when it comes to the movie itself. We still don't know who the villain is or what's going to happen with the movie itself, so hopefully by the end of this year we'll get more of like a rough idea of the kind of direction they're going to be going with. But this basically just confirming more of the reason why it's being delayed, the fact that they haven't even started filming, haven't even like finished up the script, basically confirming the reason for the delay and when we should be expecting filming to start. Again, I said it last time, absolutely heartbroken that they're going to be delaying this movie because I'm such a huge fan of the first one, but I'd rather them take their time, polish up the script, make it as good as the first one, just so that we can get an amazing sequel to this movie. But what are your thoughts about this? Who do you think they'll be casting later on this year? What kind of villain would you like? Please let me know down in the comment section below all of that. But in terms of the Marvel side of things here, so the first story we've got is when it comes to like the Thunderbolts movie here. So we actually got like a behind the scenes type of video from Florence Pugh. So this basically showing around the set, and it was kind of weird because she's going around saying, oh, I can't show you this, but I can show you this. So we didn't really get like much to go with. Apparently this video, or like where she's located, is where they're going to be filming a warehouse sequence where they actually do find Sentry, because Sentry is going to be part of this movie. And also what's interesting too is the title of the movie. So it's basically confirming here that it is called Thunderbolts, but with an asterisk at the end of it. So it's Thunderbolts asterisk, which I've never seen that in a movie title, and I genuinely don't know what that could mean, whether it's just like a working title or whether it's meaning something else. I honestly don't know, but it's just very weird seeing that. But again, not really much to go by with this video here, but other than just like the regular set photos that you would get from like warehouse sequences and stuff like that. But she was being very careful, like not to spoil anything, not to show anything too much. Even like the screen that she showed is just her holding a gun, probably within the beginning of the movie itself. But when you see this footage, what are your thoughts? A, what are your thoughts are about the title of the movie? And B, your thoughts are about this behind the scenes video. If you see anything that I missed or anything that could potentially lead into what the movie is about, please let me know down in the comment section below. But for the final news story we've got here, the update when it comes to Spider-Man 4. So we did get confirmation because there was some battle going on with Sony and Marvel. We understand that Kevin Feige and Tom Holland won, that area is going to be like a more grounded, and that they are looking for a new director. So first off, in terms of like filming dates, so coming from Jeff Snyder confirming here that Spider-Man 4 will start filming in September and October of this year, kind of linking in with Zendaya's show Euphoria, a show I've honestly not seen, but apparently that's been delayed because of this. We'll just get to that in a second here, but with the fact that they're filming later on this year, so they do want to get this movie out really quickly. Like, Sony's desperate for money after the disaster with Madam Web. Look at the fact that they're releasing all the Spider-Man movies, like Tobey Maguire's, Andrew Garfield's, and all of Tom Holland's movie, all within every single week, so like from April to May. But the fact that they're filming so quickly because they're trying to make this money, they're trying to release this movie as quickly as possible. We did get confirmation that Zendaya is going to be returning as MJ, and I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of that, because as much as I love like Zendaya as an actress, as much as I enjoyed her performance in terms of MJ in the Spider-Man movies, whatever happened in No Way Home with her memory being erased, her not knowing who Peter Parker is, it kind of would dampen the movie or just kind of erase the impact of No Way Home if within this movie she like remembers him and they start rebuilding like that relationship once again. I kind of just feel like it needs to take time, like maybe a movie or two, for it to finally settle and for her to then start remembering or go with like a different direction. I don't think having her in the movie, especially if it's like a prominent role, isn't such a great idea. But what's also interesting is that one of the directors they are lining up here is apparently going to be Justin Lin. If you're not aware of who he is, Fast and Furious, just think of Fast and Furious, most of the movies he was a director of. So apparently he's being attached to possibly direct Spider-Man 4. Now it's not concrete, so you can take this with a grain of salt, but that is a very interesting choice there. Like, as much as I do enjoy some of the movies from the Fast and Furious, the older ones versus the later ones here, it just feels like a really wild choice to have Justin Lin as the director here. Granted, I do think that he can have some amazing shots of Spider-Man swinging, because that felt like it was lacking in Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies, whereas like if you compare it to like Andrew Garfield, which visually just looks stunning, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man swinging around as well, that was kind of missing in Tom Holland. So I think that with Justin Lin, that could have some amazing shots of Spider-Man swinging around New York, but still not my first choice when it comes to like a director. And there is some like rumored plot going on when it comes to what could happen in Spider-Man 4. So it's saying here that as the title of Spider-Man continues to consume Peter's life little by little, Peter Parker will be taken a backseat and continues to fade from existence slowly. Basically, with nobody remembering him as Peter Parker, he's so consumed with being Spider-Man, whether people love him or hate him. I think this could have a really great plot. It definitely can bring in the symbiote that was left from the previous movie, Tom Hardy's symbiote, having that consume Peter Parker, having it take over. Like, that could be a great way to set up the whole symbiote saga with Peter Parker. I think that has a lot of potential. But then, like, my only thing is that because they're going for like a more grounded approach, how that's going to work, I think there's just a lot of potential you could do with now Spider-Man 4. So I'm just hoping that they go with the right direction. Again, hoping that like the MJ saga isn't like too heavily focused and it's just like something towards the end of the movie. But again, some great potential, some great things that we have to look forward to. So you hear this, you see this. What are your thoughts? A, about the director, and B, about the plot, and also C, about Zendaya coming back? Please let me know all of that in the comment section down below. But that about wraps it up for this week's weekly entertainment news video. Again, I want to know your thoughts on everything we discussed down in the comment section below. And again, if you are new to the channel, do consider hitting that subscribe button, because we have got the Monsterverse tier ranking video coming out over the weekend with so much more to look forward to. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This is YK Reviews. Peace.